Hey, this is JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. Today we're going to have a look at this Nextool multi-tool. This is the Flagship Max, which is an upgrade from the Pro. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, do check out my shop links in the pinned comment or description below. You can even join as a channel member for exclusive content. Thanks a lot. So I've got quite a few different Nextool tools, but they tend to be the smaller ones. For example, I do have this. This is the Nextool Flagship Mini, which is basically the mini version of the Pro. So it's a really nice solid multi-tool. I've also got this. This is the Mini Sailor. This is the scissors version. So think of this as a really beefed up and larger version than the Leatherman Micra. It's a great scissors-based multi-tool. I've also got this unique credit card style tool. It's the silver blade. It's got a knife over here. It's got a kind of combo tool, parcel opener with a cap lifter, wire stripper, and a ruler. And you also have a transformer pliers. So I think this is really great for kits, especially travel kits, and I really like this design. I do have one of the larger tools, and that's the Black Knight. Now this is designed as an outdoors multi-tool. I've reviewed it before. Do check out the link in the card above or description below. But honestly, I was quite disappointed with this. You can check out my thoughts in the video. So I really put off buying one of the larger multi-tools for the longest time. So the Flagship Pro did interest me, but yeah, just because I was turned off by the Black Knight, and I do have other Leatherman multi-tools and other brands as well, I didn't feel I needed it. But then the Max got released and I thought, okay, let me give it a shot, because it's supposed to be an upgraded version of the Pro. So here it is. That's the Flagship Max. Very simple packaging. And then inside, when you open it up, we've got some silica gel, we've got some instructions, and then we have the multi-tool in a pouch. So you get a nice nylon pouch, very common with multi-tools now. You can probably put in a 1/2 and maybe a 2-inch belt, thin belt that is, but that just goes on like that. Fairly well made. Yeah, I think stitching is pretty good. Yeah, it is fine. You got a nice clasp over here, solid. And then you've got the multi-tool. And they also have a bit kit with an adapter, which is very nice. And you see they even have a slot just sewn in like a pocket, so that fits there. Put in the multi-tool. I think that's a really nice package. I'll get back to this in just a bit. Let's have a look at the multi-tool first. This is the Flagship Max. It is pretty big, definitely pretty thick. And you know what, let's do some size comparisons before we actually get into the tool. I've got the Leatherman Wave. This is quite a popular and common model, so you can see it is significantly bigger. I've got the Leatherman Free P4. Now that is slightly larger than the Wave, but still smaller than this Flagship Max. And let's bring out this. This is the Byberry BI2049, which is basically their version of the Leatherman Surge. So it's really close to the same size. Now you can see in terms of length, that's actually virtually there. In fact, this is slightly longer. In terms of the width and the thickness, very close. Now the Flagship Max may only look wider because it's got a double set of primary tools. This is only a plier tools. This has pliers and a scissors. So that's why it might look wider, but really if you just look at it head on like that, yeah, only one side is wider, the other side would be the same. But that gives you kind of the sense of proportion between other Leathermans or other multi-tools, and it is on the bigger side. I personally won't call this an EDC friendly carry unless you wear it on your belt with this pouch. I personally wouldn't put this in the pocket. So in terms of the size or the lengths here, let's talk about some specs. That's 4.3 inches, 1.53 inches, and the thickness is 0.87 inches, and the weight is 8.78 ounces, or about 250 grams. So nice and hefty, but not crazily big, overly sized. Now it's a 14-in-1 multi-tool. Now I couldn't tell you the exact side-by-side comparison of the Pro and tell you the exact minute details, but I can tell you the two major differences, and that is the blade steel. This is 80 CR14 MOV. The Pro was 50 CR. The Pro was 50 CR. the Pro was 50 CR, and this has an inline Phillips head screwdriver which can be used with the adapter bit kit which they give. So two major differences, and I think it makes a difference. So if you're choosing between the Max and the Pro, I would say at this point, if you don't have the Pro, get the Max. All right, let's have a look at the multi-tool. There's a pocket clip over here. I'll quickly talk about the primary tools. So you do of course have the pliers and the wire cutters. This is spring loaded, pretty nice tension, and then they have replaceable wire cutters there. Now the thing about the Flagship, I think really that sets it apart from its competition in terms of multi-tool tools would be this butterfly design with this pair of scissors. You can see that's a nice big beefy pair of scissors. If you think about other standard multi-tools, these scissors are smaller, they fit in the handle, never cut as well. But if you really want a multi-tool for DIY work or for repairs, I think you want a good pair of scissors, and you definitely get it here with this Flagship model. So that's why you have kind of this width. You have a double-sided primary tool, the pliers and the scissors. You of course have the blade. So there you have, that's the ATCR14 MOV blade, so very decent steel, sheepsfoot style blade. There's a liner lock over here, as you can see. Now I should mention, when I first got this didn't really have a full lockup. I took a screwdriver to pry it, and now it's a good lockup, as you can see. But I personally found, or I think that's just my perception or my impression, that it seems a bit flimsy. It doesn't seem as sturdy. But when I compared it to something like the Wave, I used a pair of calipers, and this has a liner lock as well, and they're both 1 millimeter thick. So they're the same thickness. Of course, the steel could be different. Maybe there's a different hardness in the steel, but I think what really makes the difference is just the length of the line over here. You can see where the bend is. This bend is almost half the length of the tool, right? Can you see that? The bend that goes out. Whereas for the Leatherman, it's more like 1/3. So it's much shorter, so it feels more sturdy. There isn't that much of a flex when I press down on the liner. This, because by virtue of the fact that it bends from the halfway point, I just find this more flimsy. But it's just me, and really in terms of usage, never really experienced any problem whatsoever, but I've not done any hard use with this particular tool. All right, we do have a kind of a ruler on this side where the scissors are, and then on this side we do have a saw, and that too has a liner lock. And then we've got a bunch of tools here. So we have a file. Next to it, a flathead screwdriver with a cap lifter combo. And then here we have that inline Phillips head screwdriver. And this is where the adapter kit comes in. So this actually would fit over the Phillips head screwdriver if you need. You can see there's a square socket on this side, goes in just like that, and then you can take any of these 1/4 inch bits and fit it inside. Now you could drive it in this way, or if you need more torque and the situation allows, you can half lock this. So there is a half stop here, right? It's not a lock, it's just a half stop, but now you can have a bit more torque if you want by twisting it this way. So you do have that flexibility of where you want to angle or orientate the driver, which is pretty useful. But I do like having this inline Phillips head screwdriver. It's nice and sturdy, nice and thick. So that goes in there. No locks for these tools here, only for the saw and the blade. And yeah, that's basically it. There's also a carbide glass breaker right here, right? Never used it, never tested it, but it is there. All right, so what are my thoughts on this particular multi-tool? I think in terms of aesthetics, again, I think it's subjective. I personally don't think it is as nice as a Leatherman, but that's just me. What I really think the winner for this would be really two things. Number one would be the fact that you get a great big pair of scissors, right? So that is something unmatched in any other multi-tool except from Nextool. So that's really good. The other would be the tremendous value. Retail on this is just under $50 US. You get the multi-tool, you get that bit kit with the adapter, and then you get that nylon pouch. Now, this to me, for less than 50 US, for the fit and finish, the quality and the materials and the design, that's really great value. Because if you look at something like the free P4, this is 150 US dollars, so that we're talking about 3 times the price. So in terms of value, you get tremendous value, hard to beat. In terms of price value, I think this is actually better than the Leatherman. Now, how would I use this? As mentioned, I would not EDC it. It is too heavy for me to really practically carry around. But if you're in the trades or you need a really heavy duty multi-tool for your work, definitely I can see you putting this on your belt and it will work very well, especially at that price. For me, I'll either put it in a tool pouch or it'll be on my table, although I have so many multi-tools. I may or may not use this. If not, it will go to another part of the house where it can go to another toolkit. So still a great buy. Do I recommend it? Now, if you do not have any of these large multi-tools, you're looking to invest in one and a budget is a concern and you really like the tool set for this, especially with the pliers and the scissors and then that screwdriver with the bit driver combo, then I think this would definitely be worthy of your consideration. But what do you think? Do you own the Flagship Max, or maybe you own the Flagship Pro? Do you think there's a big difference? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.